is limited because now we got a volcano which is causing serious problems to the island. If you want to be healthy, this is probably not the best place to go. Sure. I mean, I was going to do a book on this, and I said if I put a book out there, they'd probably come and shoot me the next day. You can't tell people that. Nobody will come to Hawaii. Well, maybe they shouldn't. You got a young kid, young child, and families or whatever. Do you want to bring them up in a toxic environment? Let's get into some really hardcore things. I'm sure you're really interested. We got the rat lung disease, which is when a rat poops, a snail eats it, and they have this disease that can kill you. If they crawl across your spinach, your kale, and you didn't wash it, and you don't treat it right away, which is exactly right away, you could die. The person I moved to Hawaii to live with, that family, she got it, contracted it from kale, and she put it in a spinner and spun it around in water and all that. But she came down with it. She almost died. She was sick for 6 months. They thought she was going to die. It's not a pleasant disease, and it's a cycle because it just goes around back and forth from rat to snail, back to rat, back to snail. That's just one little thing. You have to wash everything you eat. I mean, even if you go to a restaurant, you have to make sure to tell yourself, I'm sure they washed it really good. Then we got a skin-eating virus, which I didn't hear much about the past year or so. Starts in a little cut and just eats away your arm or leg real fast. You can die in a short period of time if you don't get it treated. So yeah, that's one other little thing that goes on here. But I walk my house to the beach is probably about a mile. It takes me about 15, 20 minutes to walk it every day. I usually do it twice a day. The beach is it's all cliffs, so it's not like ocean front where you can just walk in the sand and sit there. I mean, this morning I went down for the first time. A wave came over the rocks, which is about like 15 feet high, and just whaled me right in the face and in my body. I mean, the wave like hit me on the side of my head. I mean, I came home, I still had water in my ear. Luckily, my dog was like 10 feet away, and he backed up. The second he saw water, he just ran backwards. But I got snagged by it. It's interesting because a lot of people are fishing there. But I will say this. Fishing has gone down incredibly. You have to realize the lava is flowing into the water. They say it's not doing much, but it's heating up the water. How could it not? I mean, take hot water and pour it on cold water. Watch what happens. The steam is toxic. It becomes a liquid, and it becomes a crystal. And it's like fiberglass. Dangerous to inhale. They warn people about being close to it, but I was in town. I talked about this two shows ago, but I was in town, and I looked down on the ground, and the whole ground was sparkling. And I got on my knees and looked sideways, and it was all crystals, string crystals on the ground that came from the volcano. But you inhale that. If it got on the ground, it was in the air coming down to get on the ground. So these little things, and they're not going to be able to prove anything for years about that. Never mind what it does to a home, property. It's the hottest temperature lava they ever could measure. So I would assume that it's deeper inside the core of the planet than the average volcano going off is. Now we'll go into what the government likes to talk about. Geothermal. No, they don't like to talk about, just kidding. The geothermal plant was completely covered with lava, except one fracking place called Fissure 8. That's the place where the lava is coming out all the time now. But 4 years ago, I don't know the exact year, I got to try to find it out, but when they were fracking, they had 13 fracturing places here in Hawaii. We got windmills, but we have to fracture too. But they were fracturing. And they realized with their technology, they could go down as far as they wanted to go. I mean, Russia went 7 miles inside the Earth. They won't admit how far down they went into the core of the mountain. Hawaii, the Hawaiian island, is the highest mountain on the planet, just that most of it's underwater. So if they went down into the core of that, which obviously they were trying to do in this experiment, rerouting lava tubes and all those kind of things they had to touch going into it. There's 3 scientists out there, 2 in California, 1 was here, talking about what it does, what it did, and how it's going to affect us. How real that is? Well, I look at it this way. Fissure rate is fracture rate. Funny. They said they couldn't cap they had to cap all these geothermal plants before the lava started. Or they knew they would have problems. How did they cap it? The last one they said they had to put dirt over it and hopefully that they couldn't really cap it. Which they didn't. So, now they released today that they don't know how long it's going to last. It could last forever. As long as the Earth stops moving, inside the Earth's going crazy. Whether there's an alien race in the center or not, it's another story. I haven't been there, so I'm not going to talk about it. But there are people that say there are, say they were there, and all that kind of stuff. The Harriman claimed to go inside. Oh, maybe I said the wrong name. Sorry about that. No, not the Harriman. He's talking about he has the Ark of the Covenant. Great story. Melchizedek says he's working with the crystal people from inside the Earth and things like that. He was going to bring them out to introduce them to the world. Never happened. 2 years ago, he claimed he would bring them all out. Said he brought 100 people inside there and stuff like that. Look at these stories. And then why do they disappear? Why aren't we hearing them? And it's not because of the government. The government likes to hear stupid things out there because then it just screws the people's minds up even more, and they can do more to them that then they won't even notice. People talking the truth disappear right away. I mean, from the face of the planet. They don't go on to talk somewhere else in another convention, conference. Stephen Greer, I'll get into him later, but I'll just mention him again now. Stephen Greer put a new video out. I guess he's in another country. He's dealing with crazy, crazy stuff, interdimensional travelers coming into this vortex, and they're filming it with laser and all this stuff. So what? Is it helping us in any level? Is it going to? He came out 2 years ago with this little alien body, which was like 2 inches long. It looked like a pencil. And they made the biggest thing about it. They found it in the desert, this little alien, 2 inches long. They said they did DNA testing, and it was human DNA, but it looked like a little skeleton. But they called it an alien. Now this other guy said, well, we have 100 of them. 100 little skeleton aliens. What are they doing to the planet? Where did they come from? What good is it? So what? Again, what you see for yourself is much more important than what people tell you. You want to experience the truth, you have to find it and work at having it or creating it within yourself, which isn't easy. Oh, it's not. No, it's not. But you have to do it. All right. Coming close to the end of the 1 hour. I don't know how long I'm going to do the show today, but a few more things I want to get into. Back to Hawaii. So if I mentioned a few things already. About the programming that goes on here, the way people dress, the way people don't dress. To me, you know, some things can be sexy, but along with that, to me, there's another word. Cleanliness. Clean. Those kind of words are pretty important. I mean, you take the sexiest person and roll them around in mud. I don't see that being sexy. I mean, if you're into mud wrestling or something, maybe, but outside of that, entertaining, maybe. So I feel I get entertained when I go to town by what I'm going to see, what people are doing, how they dress. The music here is bad. People think they can play and they can't. It's sad. It's just sad in a lot of different ways. How many really good bands and groups come to Hawaii? Not that many. And I mean, sure, that's the only thing. If they do, I think everybody in the island tries to get to go there if they have money to get there. But we're at a place in the time frame where we want to wait for aliens to come down and work with them. Now, I've been involved with aliens all my life. Here in Hawaii, when I first came, which was about 18 years ago, I met a friend, and we talked, and he was a Rastafarian, and he was a religious person. And we talked, and he said, well, come over to my house. I'll show you some cool stuff. I went over his house, and he showed me videos he shot of ships going inside the volcano. 18 years ago. They were fuzzy. They weren't like crystal clear or nothing like that. And I know he didn't make them. Why? To show me them? He never put them online or did anything with them. He wanted me to do something with them. I said, what? They're not quality enough to do anything with. But over the past couple months, I was given a couple stories from a couple people I know, a couple radio show hosts and stuff, and they said, hey, check this video out, check this person out. What they claim, I mean, claiming you did 3,000 operations on aliens, great story. What if he did? All right, now, the other claim, which I just heard last week, that the government is fighting with an alien race inside the volcano. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but I don't think they're smart enough to do it here. And if they were, I think the alien race would win. Sorry to say that. I mean, I know by certain people that I deal with, work with, and know personally on a direct level. One person died. A really cool person. Art Bell. No, sorry, wrong one. Fred Bell. I get them mixed up, but Art Bell is the one that was doing Coast to Coast until the government came after him. And then George Norrie took over, and he got a super big name now, but he has no clue what aliens are, what ships look like, or anything close to it. Me personally, I saw over 1,000 ships, or not, maybe even 2,000. I'm dealing with the light ship. I've been dealing with that for a year, waiting for something outrageous to happen. So, do I really want to promote that much anymore? No. I gave him a chance. I said, you want to do something important? Talk to me? Go right ahead. You want to sit there and just play games with me? I said, even I don't have time to do that. And it kind of stopped, but I didn't see the sky in 3 months because it's just cloudy because of the volcano now. But whether they were ready, I asked all the psychic people that I know, and nobody could give me an answer. So here's the thing in my life. I'll go to a psychic. I have never met a real psychic outside of the first one I met when I was young. It's kind of bizarre. And I met thousands. When I lectured around the United States, I mean, all kinds of psychics, claiming this and claiming that. I know people think I'm so evil and bad, but I am in a way. I will squash a lie as fast as I can. You may want to squash an ant as fast as you can. I want to squash a lie as fast as I can. When I was traveling with Sergeant 18, and we were doing global sciences for a couple of years, he brought me with him all the time, and he always gave me part of his conference time, and we did the show together. But we met these different kinds of people, claiming to be top psychics. Famous people at the time. I mean, still are, or one of them just died. Dolores Cannon just died last year. But people like that, claiming this and saying that, I would love to go against them and confront them. There was a woman channeling Thomas Jefferson. She didn't even know he had black slaves. I said, how can you channel someone, become super famous doing it, and not even tell the truth? Don't people see through lies or try to? Because she said something? I mean, right now, my thing is, I'm talking about Jesus. Was I there? Yeah. But I just say, listen to what I'm saying.